Joining us now with the three biggest things to watch in Microsoft's report is John Freeman. He's Vice President of Equity Research at CFRA. John, it's good to have you. So let's start with the number one thing you're looking for.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Yeah, so besides the regular sort of operating metrics, results metrics, I'm looking at one, the growth of cloud, how cloud they're shifting to from on-premise, client server software to cloud subscription revenue. How rapidly that's occurring, not just with Azure, but with Microsoft Office 365, Dynamics 365, which are, which can also really drive revenue growth along with Azure, which everyone sort of pays attention to. And then, I think the Xbox coming in, it's shipping on November 11th. So I'm going to be listening for all the, the commentary around the new Xbox. It's the first upgrade in 8 years, and I think it represents, just taking a look at the specs, it represents a real, a generational shift, and I think it's really going to, represent a big jump in terms of how sort of realistic and immersive games are. And if you look at AR, augmented reality, and VR, virtual reality, which are starting to slip into the mainstream now, definitely getting mainstream. Those two things are really, strategic for Microsoft, not just for the gaming, but for the future of the company in terms of, it's basically a new way of interfacing with software. It's a new way of interfacing with the computer. So, so I think the Xbox, is not just important for this quarter, which it is, and the next couple of quarters after the upgrade, but also more long term.
Yeah. So basically, of the three main things, one is cloud, the second is Xbox, the third is something that is interesting as a leading indicator. It's their RPO, their remaining performance obligation. It's basically their kind of bookings, the total amount of revenue that's been booked but not yet recognized. It was up 23% year over year last quarter. So now you're looking for that this afternoon. I want to circle back, though, and ask you about the cloud, where they had a bit of a disappointment last quarter. Do you have any lingering concerns about that?
Well, I honestly didn't think it was disappointment relative to whose expectations. I mean, of course, in a quarter like that, I think a lot of people, that you're going to see the highest growth metrics, decelerate as their customers are still, if you remember, it's like quarter people were kind of scrambling, trying to figure out what the ultimate economic impact of COVID-19 was going to be. And, so I think I think that was definitely legitimate. Also, Azure is just, like I said, it's one aspect of their cloud business. Microsoft 365 probably represents more revenue, obviously not growing as fast, but it has a very sort of solid trajectory that you can see as they convert, the old legacy users to, of Office users to cloud and get them to, start paying that yearly or monthly subscription.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.